Can you imagine watching everything you've ever worked for, your home, your memories, your whole sense of security, just go up in flames in a single night? Well, that's exactly what happened to Scott Pap, the author of The Barefoot Investor, when a massive bushfire just tore through his farm.
As he was driving away from all that wreckage, looking at the destruction in his rearview mirror, all he could say was, "I understand." What did he understand? Well, in that moment, he learned this brutal but life-changing lesson. True security isn't about the stuff you own. It's about having a rock-solid financial plan.
And that's the core idea we're going to dig into today: how to become financially fireproof. It's all about building a system so tough, so resilient, that no disaster, whether it's a real fire or a financial crash, can ever take away your peace of mind. But here's the twist. The secret isn't some crazy, complicated Wall Street strategy. Not at all. It's a simple, natural rhythm that anyone can follow, just like a farmer. First, you plant the seeds. Then you nurture them as they grow. And finally, you get to harvest the rewards. Plant, grow, harvest. That's it. That's the entire roadmap.
Okay, so let's dive right into this first phase, planting. This is all about laying that foundation and setting up the right systems so your money starts working for you automatically.
So the very first step, it isn't about spreadsheets or budgets. It's about communication. Scott Pap calls it the barefoot date night. You schedule a time, once a week for 5 weeks, and then once a month, just to talk about money. When these conversations become a regular thing, a ritual, they stop being stressful and they start feeling really empowering. You start working like a team to build a better life. Next up, you set up your money buckets. And look, you can forget about those super restrictive budgets. This is a simple visual system. 60% of your take-home pay goes into your blow bucket for daily life, bills, groceries, rent. The other 40% gets split up. 10% for guilt-free splurging, 10% for your Mojo or future growth, and a really crucial 20% for your fire extinguisher to handle those unexpected shocks. Now that Mojo account, that's your financial fortress. It's your emergency fund, and it absolutely needs to live in a completely separate bank. Why? Well, it's to create a little bit of friction, a kind of protective wall against temptation. Your very first mission is to get at least $2,000 in there. That seed money is your safety net. It's your financial oxygen. All right, with your safety net in place, it's time to attack your debt. First things first, cut up your credit cards. Seriously. Then you use what he calls the domino effect. You list all your debts from the smallest to the largest. Then you focus all your energy on wiping out that smallest one first. That first win gives you this huge psychological boost, creating momentum to knock over the next one and then the next until you're completely free. Okay, so with those seeds planted, we move into the second phase, growing. You've set up your systems, you've cleared away the debt, now it's time to nurture that money for some real long-term wealth. So the first major goal in the grow phase is buying a home, but not by falling into the classic mortgage trap. Scott's rule is super simple. Save a 20% deposit. This target makes sure you have a solid foundation and you avoid that costly mortgage insurance, which gives you true stability, not just a giant mountain of debt. Now, what's really interesting here is how this slide breaks down two different ways to invest. You've got Marlene, who takes the complex route with an investment property. She's dealing with massive fees and even losing money every year. But then you have Jane. She just simply invests in a low-cost stock fund. Her approach is, kind of boring, consistent, and it quietly makes her wealthy over time. The lesson here? Simplicity wins. Okay, the final step in the grow phase is to boost your mojo. Remember that first $2,000 safety net? Well, the ultimate goal is to grow it until it can cover 3 full months of your living expenses. This is the point where financial security stops being just an idea and becomes real, tangible freedom. And that freedom is everything. The story of Mojo mom Leanna Russell really proves it. After she escaped a violent relationship, her fully funded Mojo account gave her the power to protect her family and completely rebuild her life. It wasn't just money. It was the ability to choose safety and peace of mind. So, you've planted the seeds, and you've nurtured their growth. Now we finally reach the most rewarding stage, the harvest. This is where you get to enjoy the freedom that you've worked so hard to create. A crucial part of the harvest is getting the banker off your back. See, banks want you to upgrade, to borrow more, to get hooked on credit card perks. But truly wealthy people, they do the exact opposite. They live below their means, they avoid debt, and they invest steadily. To harvest your freedom, you have to stop playing the bank's game. Next, you need to nail down your retirement number. And forget that intimidating idea that you need millions and millions. If you're a couple and you own your home, the target is around $250,000 in investments. That number is actually achievable, and it's enough to fund a comfortable, dignified life in retirement.
The path to a secure retirement follows 3 really simple rules, as you can see right here. 1. You enter retirement completely debt-free. 2. You don't stop working until you've hit your number. And 3. You never stop contributing to life in some way, even if it's just 1 day a week. It keeps you engaged, and it keeps your purpose alive. The final harvest, it isn't about money at all. It's about legacy. It's about using the security you've built to make a difference. The story of scientist Chenupadi Jagadish, who was lifted from poverty by a teacher and later helped lift others, shows that true wealth is measured by the positive impact you have on the world. So there it is. We've covered the entire journey, right? From the ashes of a devastating fire all the way to a clear, actionable plan for a life of freedom and security.
It all comes down to that simple rhythm. You plant by setting up your systems. You grow by investing smartly. And you harvest a life of freedom. The ultimate goal isn't just a bigger bank balance. It's getting peace of mind and the power to live life completely on your own terms. The Barefoot Investor gives you a roadmap, not a magic wand. It's a journey that starts with a single decision. So the final question is for you. What's the very first step you'll take right now to start building your own fireproof life?